Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs Glass. Now for the last maybe 2 or even 3 years, I've been shooting every single video on this channel with the Canon M50. Now it's been a pretty good camera, but it does have some faults, so today we're getting a bit of an upgrade. So then guys, what we have here is a mount adapter for an EF to EOS R lens. So that may be a bit of a hint as to the camera that I've actually got, but it is actually an R series Canon. Now the one that I've gone for is the Canon R10, and I'll explain why as we go through the unboxing. However, to get this out of the way, the R10 comes in at around £899 here in the UK, and the adapter is around £119, so you're looking at about £1,000 or just over that price tag for everything combined. However, that doesn't include any lenses, but I've got some EF lenses, hence why I got the mount. Now, camera unboxings aren't necessarily the most exciting thing, so let's get through this part pretty quick. You've got some information for Canon's imaging software. You've then got the manual itself, which is pretty thick with tons of languages, but it goes through everything that you need for the camera itself. You've also then got a Canon branded neck strap. I'm not going to be using this though because I mainly use it on a tripod. You've then got the charging cradle for the battery, and you do only get one battery in here, and I would recommend picking up a couple because Canon cameras can chew through batteries pretty quick. We've then got the actual battery itself and the cable to actually charge or plug in the cradle side of things. Now, here is where you would normally find your included kit lens. However, I've gone for the body only side of things because I've got some EF lenses that I'm going to be using with that adapter like I mentioned. So I've got around 2 or 3 lenses that I can use straight out of the box with this camera on day one. And then straight here at the bottom, we then have the R10 itself. Now it's very well protected, so again, that is something that's quite good with Canon packaging. Yes, it doesn't necessarily look the most fancy, but everything is going to be protected, which is good if you're going to be investing in a new camera like this one. So as you can see here, it's the EOS R10, and straight away, first impressions, this thing feels incredible. The actual grip side of things, I've got pretty large hands, it's way better than what I'm used to with the M50, so hopefully that's going to come in quite handy for those run and gun situations. You've then got the Canon staple, the articulating screen. Now this comes in super handy. I don't actually use any sort of external monitor when I'm filming myself on YouTube here, so to be able to turn this around to see exactly what I'm looking at and obviously, frame myself up correctly is super handy to have. Now all of the buttons and everything all feel extremely good. They are a little bit chunky, but I'm actually a pretty big fan of that because you know exactly what you're doing. You've got controls on the back, top, you've also got a thumbstick up the top here as well, and then you've got your manual focus and autofocus button just here under the lens on the front. On the bottom as well, you've got everything that you need here. You've got your adapter here for your tripod mount, so again, just a standard thread there on the bottom. You've then got the door which houses the battery and also your SD card slot as well. Now the fact that this thing can shoot in 4K 60, I would definitely recommend getting a very fast SD card, which is again something I need to pick up. And then of course we do have the lens on the front just under this lens cap, and this is going to be a 24.2 megapixel APS-C sensor, and like I mentioned, it can shoot up to 4K 60 frames a second in video mode, which again is a massive step up from what I was getting on my M50 before. And then the second part of the unboxing is the mount adapter, which allows me to use my EF lenses with the EOS R body. Now again, this is super handy because I've got some lenses already. I didn't necessarily want to invest in any of the R lenses that are out there at the moment. They are pretty limited with their selection currently, but hopefully that is going to be growing up moving forward. But as you can see here, it's just a very tiny adapter that goes in between your camera and the lens to allow you to use all of your EF lenses with your new R camera. Now the great thing about this as well is it doesn't actually crop in or anything like that, which some adapters do, and it doesn't affect anything like the autofocus or pretty much any of the other settings of the lens to the camera side of things. Everything works exactly as you would expect it to with the EF lens. So just as a quick example here, I've got the Canon R10. I'm going to take off the front lens mount. As you can see, we then get the adapter, which again, all you need to do is line up the 2 red dots. If you've ever used any Canon accessories beforehand, red dot to red dot, turn it away from you and you're all set and ready to go. And this is what it looks like with the adapter. It kind of looks like it's already got a small sort of pancake lens on there already, but it's not. You take off this front cap and then you can attach any EF lens that you need to. So for me, I've got my standard 50mm lens here from Canon. It already has an adapter on there because I was using it for the M body that I had beforehand on the M50. So again, take that off and then all you need to do, again, red dot to red dot, turn it away from you and then you're set. Everything's all good. And like I mentioned, everything that works with the lens, autofocus, all that sort of stuff, all of the aperture ranges, all works perfectly fine with the R10. And like I mentioned, with this grip, it feels extremely sturdy. I think I'm going to really enjoy using this camera. And again, one of the main reasons why I switched over from the M50 to the R10 is just for the autofocus side of things in 4K. So with the R10, it uses the dual pixel CMOS autofocus, whereas on the M50 that I was using beforehand, it was contrast-based autofocus in 4K, which basically meant that it was always hunting around, it never got focused on what I wanted it to, and it was just a bit of a hassle. Anytime that I was recording in 4K with the M50 beforehand, everything was manually focused, even if I was filming myself, whereas this one, all of the autofocus works perfectly fine in every single mode. Now the camera does also have some other nice features to it, like 10-bit recording, and the actual 4K side of things is actually oversampled from 6K, so again, in regards to the overall detail of this camera in video mode, it looks pretty good. Now the 4K 60 does crop in ever so slightly, whereas the 4K 25, for example, is just a standard frame, it doesn't crop in whatsoever, so if you're using a 50mm lens, you're going to be getting 50mm, however at the 60 frames per second, it does crop in ever so slightly. It does also have some nice, quality of life things there as well. So the charging side of things, you've got a USB-C for data transfer and also charging, no micro USB to be found whatsoever, which is really nice as well. And like I mentioned, it's not too bad when you take into account the overall price, exactly what you're getting here in this package. And that's going to do it, guys, for this video and the unboxing of the Canon R10. Now, like I mentioned, moving forward, every single video is going to be shots using the R10, and the next video to appear on this channel will be my full in-depth review of the iPhone 14 Pro after around 2 or 3 months worth of use. Now, of course, some B-roll shots or maybe some less important shots will still be done with the Canon M50, but primarily it's going to be using this camera, including the outro and intro to this video has all been done on the R10. As always, let me know in the comment section down below if you've got any questions or comments, and if you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, now's a great time to do so. Heading into the new year, we've got tons of new videos coming up, so once you've hit subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified anytime I post a video here on the channel. I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.